Hey y'all, it's me. Let me get my camera in my hand. It's let me see, about 6, a little after 6 in the evening, and I'm back outside for a few hours watering sunflowers that were set out this week, and I have more sunflowers that were set out today, and down there's sunflowers that were set out last week. And that's not sunflowers, that's other things, but yeah, we found out something this week. We don't like being without sunflowers. It was horrific. This is the first time that we're not going to have plenty of sunflowers to go to market. We'll have a few. We've cut some this morning, but that little patch right there is really all that's ready, and they're not fully open. I'll take you over and show you in just a minute. And then these guys won't be ready until next week. Uh-oh. I've got a kink in my hose. Let's go. Move him, or open him up. There we go. But should have worn my headgear. Next time I'll remember to do that. Make it a whole lot easier to try to make a video and talk to y'all at the same time. But it has been just extraordinarily dry here. So I'm in the process of watering everything really deeply. Tomorrow we will be doing our Flowers with Friends events. So I won't be home to water, and Chelsea's working graveyards tonight. So Friday and Saturday, they're kind of tough on both of us, because he helps me set up at Presnell's. That's the little area, the little fruit and vegetable stand that's close to us, just about 3 miles away. And then he comes back home, and I handle that event. It's never going to be extraordinarily busy, but busy enough for one person. And then in the afternoon, after Chelsea's had a chance to sleep after working graveyards, because she's a sleep study tech, she gets up and meets me over at Duckett's in Canton. That's a busier market, and we do that Flowers with Friends. But this evening I've got to spend some time. We cut quite a bit this morning, so I'm not sure how much I'll have left to cut this evening. I may have to get up in the morning and cut, but we'll see. Give me just one moment, and I will turn this off so you can hear me, or turn the pump off so you can hear me. I think I've watered this area enough, and then I'll have to move my hose before I start the pump back anyway. I hope y'all are having a beautiful evening. It has cooled down a little bit here, and that's nice, because we have had just, hold on a minute, plug your ears. Ah, that's better. Sometimes I even wear my headphones down here and listen to podcasts or something when it gets really loud. I'm going to release the water off of my hose. This is the spray nozzle I got this past week at Lowe's, and I love it. It's just a wonderful little tool. Yeah. This is a happy spray right here. Not so hard that it bends your plants down or washes your seed out of the ground. Just a nice, gentle, almost a springtime, just gentle rain. But I love it. So if anybody's in need of a hose, they sell these at Lowe's, and it's called an Orbit. It's wonderful. Okay, now let's take a little walk around and let me show you what's happening. Hugh's going to reshape beds for me this week. He's in the process of, he built a little contraption that attaches to the rotavator. And as you can see from this bed, it does just a beautiful job flattening the top. But he's worked on it a bit. We're going to put he needs to do a row right here in the center of those sunflowers in this row. And then he's going to put, whoops, slick mud. That's the problem with this red clay mud. You get it wet and you're down. But anyway, he's going to put 3 beds. Oh, if you're hearing all these strange noises, I just burnt my arm on that crazy pump. It was hot. But he's going to put 3 beds where there's 4 right here. You can see the plastic's down in that little ditch, and there's not enough room to actually, I need 3 beds instead of 4, so we have plenty of room to mow. And then we will have 2 beds down here. So you can see our sunflowers that we put in the ground last week are looking really nice, except you probably noticed when I was watering up there that the dirt that was on top of the rows looked different than the red clay dirt. That's because we use what is that stuff that holds water for you? Peat moss. We put the seed in and put peat moss over top instead of the red soil, red clay, and that way the seed doesn't have quite as hard a time busting through. And let me show you why. Because this little section right here has the red soil over top of it. I ran out of peat moss, and this section down here, you can see how the little rows are a different color. Has a little bit of wash in them, but we're back to the peat moss. So for us, where it's, and I don't know why, because regular sunflower seeds come through this easily. It does not struggle with this red clay. We had plenty that we direct sowed last year, and they came up just fine. But for some reason, these pro cut that we're growing seem to struggle coming up through the red clay. So if you're going to grow the pro cut, give them their little ditch, put your seed in. We already had fertilizer on the beds, so put your seed in, and then put, for us, like I said, we put peat moss over top, and they just absolutely love that. Came up through it nice. There's still some bare spots, so I don't know if we missed seeding or if those just didn't want to wake up for the summer. But we're doing the direct seeding with those bigger seeds. We're doing it in an interesting way. Hugh had seen this online, and it's just taking about a 3.5 foot long piece of the white PVC pipe. Ours is probably about an inch, 3/4 of an inch to an inch, and you just hold it on the ground, put it close to where you want the seed to drop, and you just drop the seed and move your little pipe, and it's 2 or 3 times faster. All right, these guys are pumpkins. This whole little row down here is pumpkins, and I'm going to drag, you can see they're a little squirrely because they need some water also. I'm going to drag my little handy dandy nozzle down here and give them a drink. I hear a gate swinging. Need to go check on it in a minute. But I think Chelsea and I haven't decided exactly what we're going to do when they start running. I think we're going to run them down through this field, but we haven't decided if we want to just go get a lot of cardboard to run them on top of for weed suppression. I don't want to use plastic. I could, take that plastic right there and cut it in strips and just run it down and along, because it's all, we're going to use it for years. I'm not going to throw it away because we do have use for it. So we'll figure something out. And Anyway, let's walk up here where the pretty things are. We got some information this week, a heads up from a neighbor, that one of our little businesses in the area had an air conditioner stolen out of their window, and the dad and the son were on premises when it happened, and the dad heard the noise and had the son go out and see, and the son yelled for dad to come, and when they got out there, the little group that was stealing it tossed it in the back of a pickup truck and took off. So apparently several years ago, about 9 years ago actually, we had a rash of theft on this little mountain. And it's thought that the people that had been involved with that are out of prison, and maybe they're back up to their mischief. All right, here you go. That's about where we cut them. So let me see. You can see I've got a number down here to, oops, am I getting it on camera? Yeah. Down here to come and cut this evening. I don't know if I can't tell if I'm aiming at the right spot. There we go. But anyway, and then I'll probably run down here in the morning and grab whatever opens up overnight. The problem is, from this point, it takes them a day or two to actually open up. So our markets tomorrow, will have to tell people, use your imagination. They will open up and be beautiful big sunflowers. But yeah, for this coming week, this is really all we have in the way of sunflowers. I think it will get us through the next 2 weeks, hopefully. And we have that little section over there that's just a tiny little section. And then these that are kind of abandoned because the groundhogs had gotten in them. But you can see that we ended up having more in this little section than I thought we did. But we're also fighting Japanese beetles. And let me tell you, we're fighting Japanese beetles with a little handheld vacuum cleaner. Aaron was here this week, and he took a piece of like 1/2-inch PVC pipe, and he taped it to the end of this so that you'd have a little narrow area of suction that would pick them up a little better. But you still have to come out early in the morning. These are the ones that the groundhogs really got, but I'm still going to let them go. I don't need this row, so, and I don't know whether I'm going to weed or not. I don't know. Chelsea's been out here weeding quite a bit with her hoe. I'll show you her handiwork. But anyway, early in the morning or late in the evening, when they're just kind of relaxed or asleep and they're not holding on to the leaf, you can grab them pretty easily. Otherwise, if they're alert and awake during the day, you really can't, it's hard to shake them loose. But oh well. So, and I've got to get these little few pieces of grass, and we found out the reason they were not germinating well. There again, we planted them at the wrong time. But this is what they look like. I told you all about them the other day. Let me get out of the light so you can see them in the light. It's called Frosted Explosion. And they are just beautiful. And they are so pretty in an arrangement. So we just have this one little section. And then we have just those few that I'm going to go ahead and stick in the ground because there's no point in wasting them. But they have to germinate at 60 to 65 degrees, I think. And so these were in the cooler room. These were in a hotter room. And look here, you all. We've got a duck egg. Those crazy little dudes. I think that Chelsea, I'd forgotten about it, but I think Chelsea told me that there was a duck's nest in the gomphrena right here. And when she came down the other day and cleaned these out, she scooted them out of the gomphrena but I guess no one came back to claim it. But look at the Comfrena. Do y'all remember last year that I had it? Let me see if it will focus. It's hard to get it to focus. I want to come up on it like this. There it goes. But it's just a little round ball, and they are so beautiful. These guys are still really, really short, so we're using them in the little jar arrangements, which I think are very, very cute. But I'd love for them to get big enough to actually use in the full size arrangements. And over here we have another little bed. Now I'm not sure what the issue is with them still being so small. I don't think it's their location, because you can see those plants up there are getting nice and tall, even though we lose our sunshine around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But because the sun goes down over here behind these trees, and I never want these trees to go. I love this line of trees, but the sun comes up over there, so it has the full sun absolutely all day. We lose the sun, like I said, about starting as early as 4 on this very, very far end of the garden, and then it's pretty much gone by 5 in the afternoon. But there's not a thing in the world we can do about that other than cut those trees, and that's not going to happen. So let's walk up this way. So here we have another little patch of celosia just coming on. You can see there's some little blooms happening. And celosia has surprised me, y'all. We grew, not celosia, excuse me, this is Cosmo. We grew Cosmo last year, and what I would put in a vase lasted nicely, but to me it just looked so fragile that I was concerned about it in the locations where we sell bouquets, because they're outside and it's hot. But they have actually held up really well in those locations. We change the bouquets out 3 times a week. In Canton, we're over there twice anyway, because we have the Flowers with Friends at that location. Plus we have the Canton Market at that location in Canton. So we only have to go one other time. And that has really worked out pretty well for us, because a lot of times they need more bouquets anyway. You can see the Japanese beetle damage. And this little guy, he's pretty, but he's not pretty enough for a bouquet. There's the culprits. I'm going to go get my little suction and start getting rid of these guys again this evening. Chelsea likes using it. She says, it's just so satisfying, Mom. So I let her take care of the Japanese beetle issue. But yeah, look at this, guys. A whole little nest of them. These guys make me angry. Got to get rid of them before they devastate everything. The nice thing is that if you get them off of the zinnias before the bloom opens, then it's fine, because we don't usually leave any leaves on the zinnias anyway. We like to just strip them down. They take up too much space in a bouquet, so we just leave the bloom. But you can see these guys. This is our succession bed, our first succession bed, and they're coming on. All kinds of little, especially down at this end. So by the time we get this one up here stripped down, we'll have plenty coming on down here, and probably even beforehand. So that's good. The zinnias will kind of save our life this week without, as many sunflowers. And here's our cinnamon basil. And there again, the Japanese beetle loved the cinnamon basil. So I'll come down here and check these over. And then these crazy brain celosia. Not really sure I like them so much. I love the feather celosia, but these really bizarre ones. This one can't decide whether it wants to be a brain or a feather. Let's see, down here are some little feathers. They need to mature a little bit, but they're really, really pretty. Really, really pretty. These guys need to get a little bit bigger. But we've just recently started cutting a few of these for the bouquets. And look at this color. Isn't that pretty? Just such a soft little color. I think these are the same color. There's some more Martian brains. But we have a whole tray, about 210 plants to sit out of this one, and I think the pink one. So those will be coming on this summer. And then here's marigolds. They need to be cut. I love the smell of marigold. I know a lot of people, Chelsea included, does not like the smell of marigold. These little white ones are pretty. I've shown these to y'all before. They look more yellow on my camera screen, but they're actually off-white. They're a soft yellow. Let's call them a soft yellow. So I need to get over here and get some more of these bright yellow dudes. And the azure autumn, I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to start taking them to market or not. I've got to check, because you can see how beautiful they are. But they still wiggle a little bit. There's a few of them that might be firm enough, but if you cut them before they're firm, before their neck is firm, they really don't hold up so well in a vase. Now, you see this one. No, it's still floppy. So we might leave these for another few days before we start using them. But this is one of my favorite flowers. You see the little fuzzy heads? They're so beautiful. And this one that I'm showing you is showing up purple or pink maybe on my phone, when in actual fact that color is periwinkle. It is gorgeous, gorgeous periwinkle blue. So I don't know why it's showing up that color, but what a beautiful, beautiful plant it is. And then down here, this is the lemon basil. I love this basil. It is not only beautiful, but it is so fragrant. It smells like lemons. It absolutely does. It's a wonderful addition to a bouquet. And then down here's some more of the cinnamon, and I've cut heavy on it. You can see there's just whole sections missing. And it smells really pretty too. I had to kind of get used to it, because it's a very kind of strong smell. But once I got used to it, I absolutely love the smell of it. So this is a whole little bed of lemon basil, and we have another bed of lemon basil where I was watering earlier. That was half celosia and half lemon basil, half celosia feathers. I'm not sure I'm going to plant any more brains. I think I keep saying that. And then these are the Queenies, the Queenie series, and they're so pretty. I didn't think I would like them to begin with, because to me they look almost faded out. But in actual fact, they look, if you're familiar with wallflowers, there's another little dude that's getting ready to, a whole bunch. Look at that, guys. I gotta go get my vacuum cleaner. But the wallflowers are just a gorgeous flower that's just kind of faded a little bit, or it has like a papery, an antique papery look. And that's what these Queenies are. They just have that antique-y look. But we're finding that our customers are loving them, so we will definitely continue growing them. But the other bed over here that I was showing you a few minutes ago, that long bed over there, that's the Bennery Giants, and they'll be the real intense bright colors. So I'm going to be cutting a whole lot of these guys for market. And you know, there's not a whole lot ready, and I have to be mindful of that, because if you cut a zinnia like this little guy right here, at that stage, it's done. It will not continue to develop. It's finished doing what it's going to do. So you have to wait and let it get to that stage, because that's where you want it for your bouquets, excuse me. But anyway, I just think they're gorgeous. I'll have quite a few. We already have a bucket inside, but I told Chelsea that I'd come back out and cut another bucket because it was getting very, very hot this morning, and we decided to just call it enough. She needed to get a little sleep before her shift tonight anyway, and I had to take Hugh to Lowe's to get cement to repair one of our watering troughs. We have a watering trough, big concrete thing, holds 500 gallons. And see, we have some that are just, the Cosmo, that are just beginning to pop open, and I love getting them at this stage, because if we get them right there, then in the morning, when I go downstairs to work with them, they are just about like this, like that one. So they're perfect to put in a bouquet at that point, and they'll finish opening up later. And I love these yellow ones, but the yellow ones look old and faded so quickly. Chelsea and I have decided that next year we're not doing the yellow ones. There's a guck. I don't know where he's going. Apparently, he has places to go, things to do, and people to see, and lots to say from the sounds of it. But anyway, y'all, look at this old purple one. It'll be open enough to cut in the morning. But I had better get busy. I'll be losing my son now in about an hour and a half. And I have more than an hour and a half of work. I love this, and I love it that y'all are joining us on this new venture. And I gotta say, and Chelsea and I talked to her this week. I didn't want to make any promises until I cleared it with her, but I asked her if she would be interested in doing a live one day soon so that y'all could get to know her. And she said, yeah, Mom, I'd be happy to do that. So I'll put up a short, or I'll have to ask Erin exactly how you go about making an announcement on YouTube, so your subscribers know when you're going to be doing something like that. But I'll let you know when it's coming. And in the meantime, y'all have a wonderful rest of your day and evening and weekend. It is Friday. Love you much. Bye-bye.